What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Well, let's just say welcome back to us. Listen, we're back. I know we took a little hiatus, just a little bit, but we are back. We're back in action. We have a lot of people asking us, when's the next episode? Where are you guys at? What are you guys doing? So we decided we just jump on here, come on live, and let you guys know, what's going on. Because sometimes life be life. And
Life be Lifin. That is the name of this podcast.
yes.
This is gonna be today's episode. Life be Lifin.
Yeah. So we're just gonna come on here, share a few things just we've been learning, what we've been going through, what's next for us. Because I think since the last episode, little things got a little bumpy and rocky for us, not in a bad way. Definitely stuff we've been learning how to grow through, how to navigate things God has been teaching us. So yeah, so that's what this episode is all about. That's what today's live is all about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Life.
Yes, life and how to navigate it a little bit, especially when you're in a relationship. Again, disclaimer: we're not married, right? We're not married, but we're in a dating process still, and we're learning each other. I think that's the beauty of the dating process. Again, for those who don't know, what the One Podcast is all about. That's what we're here to do. We're here to help singles, couples, even maybe those who even are married, just help understand how to date, and especially how to date in this time, in this era, this generation, and eventually help you find the one by becoming one with God, with Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
yes. Again, for our first time listeners, if you've never been here before, if you're first time joining us, my name is Joseph,
My name is Paris.
and we are the
One
One
podcast.
Podcast. So, Bay, do you want to go ahead and share with us, like, what's been going on with you? How have you been navigating this season? Like, how has life been life for you?
Life has been lifing because I am getting my master's degree
Hmm. Shout out to
in
you. Shout out to
marriage
you.
and family therapy.
Awesome. Yeah, she,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So she gonna be, she gonna be popping. So she gonna be popping. The
Uh,
masters with that masters. I'm pushing her to get her doctorate, her
no,
PhD. She says
no.
no, but I believe God has other
I've been
plans.
in school. I've been in school nonstop since 2016. I deserve a break.
You do.
And after this, like this will be my forever break from school.
You I'm gonna tell you right now. She believes that, but deep down,
Forever break.
but
Hallelujah. I
but
feel that in my
I
shana.
don't. In my shondo, I feel that
I
she is gonna
do.
go back to school for a PhD. I believe
No.
it. You got other plans, but God says He's called you to be a doctor.
No.
Everybody in the comments put doctor.
No.
Put the little graduation caps. So type in PhD doctor. Put Doctor Paris. Put Doctor
No.
Paris in the comments.
No.
She thinks she's not going back to
I
school.
love
Watch, I'm
that.
telling you,
Did you
the
hear
Lord gonna
that?
wake you. The Lord gonna wake you up out of your sleep one day and say, "Daughter, I have called you to go back to school."
Absolutely not.
Watch, I bet you. In a couple
No.
years, watch. But anyways, yeah, I get that. I get that. You have been juggling a lot of things. I've been seeing you juggling work, school, ministry. So I applaud you for that. I applaud you because it can be very stressful, and you have your moments where you vented to me where it's been very stressful.
It can't. It's not that it can be, it is stressful,
Yes.
especially wanting and trying to do and nothing works.
Mm-hmm.
And then you are trying to gather yourself, but also you have a partner that you have to make sure that you are um always like making sure that you're good, like checking in and like, are we good? And
Yeah.
like, I know I haven't been like asking you because I've been, what it is emotional overload.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when a person is so stressed out within their life that on it's easy to put that type of emotion onto your partner,
Yeah.
and it's like that's when it becomes emotional overload, and then it's just like, oh dang, like when are we gonna like get off of this high? But it's like when you're in it, it's like I can't. I feel like I'm trying to keep myself afloat, and I can't.
Yeah, I agree. I think in those moments, it could definitely be emotional overload where you're just dropping or unloading like all your weight or everything that you're feeling onto the person that you're dating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But I think also too, it can be that way. And I think we've both been in a situation, like even this past summer, where I was in a situation where life was life for me, and I was emotionless to you. I wasn't emotional to you, where I was kind of in my own feelings and wasn't, speaking and letting you into that space of what I was going through. So I think, in those situations, like you have to be emotional. Like you have to have a level of emotional intelligence um in those moments and in those times.
yeah, like not taking it personal, but
Hmm.
it's also like key to let that person know like this is what I go through when when I'm stressed. This is how
Yeah.
I handle my stress.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some things that you could do by yourself
Hmm.
to make sure that you're not distancing yourself from the person that you're with? I'm not saying that it's not I'm not saying that you are not supposed to be secluded, like as in still away
Yeah.
at times.
Yeah.
But like if you're stealing away like every day from that person, then it's going to create distance
Yeah.
in
Definitely.
your relationship.
Definitely. And I think that's the beauty of like the dating process, and something like I have learned, and I think we're both learning, is letting your significant other into that space of your vulnerability. There is times where, and even like what I've learned this summer when, I was going through something where my emotions were very high, like I've learned to go to that secret place with God and that intimate space with prayer and worship, but also God has given you also someone who can also handle the weight of what you're going through. And I think times where I was supposed to talk to you and speak to you about what I was going through, I kind of shut you away and was like, nah, like I'm trying to figure it out on my own. And, you know, I don't want to dump it on you, you know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes like you have to know when to be able to go to God with everything that you have or that you're going through, and also trust and rely on the person that He's giving you as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was school has been schooling. And this one class I just got out, which I made an A in that class, which I'm so
Another
excited.
round of applause. Round of
So,
applause.
yes, and just like trying to, you're working Monday through Friday with
Mhm,
children,
mhm.
then coming home and you're just like,
Yeah,
I'm tired.
yeah.
And also, like, you have Monday night Bible studies,
Mhm.
and then you have Tuesday to yourself, then you have Wednesday night discipleship class,
Yeah.
and then you then you have Thursday
The
to
packed schedule.
yourself, and then you're just like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah,
And then it's like you even have Friday to yourself, I don't want to do anything. And
yeah.
then Saturday comes, and then you got worship
Mhm.
practice. It's just a lot. So it's just like I don't even know, like, when do you create that time and space when you already feel like you're running off of fumes?
Yeah, I think something we're learning, and it's something that your parents even have taught us and have shown us, is like create little small intimate dates. Like sometimes, like your dates or that time that you spend with one another, especially when life feels like it's going a million miles an hour, is create those little moments in time where you can share an intimate moment. And when I say intimate, I don't mean like affectionate or anything like that. I mean being one on one together and talking about what you're going through can be an intimate moment, because we have done it this past week, and then we've created time where we just went to go get ice cream, sit in the car and talk about what it is that we've been going through and how we've been feeling. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's a time and a moment where we created space and time for us to be vulnerable, but we're spending that quality time or that one-on-one together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think that's like the beauty that I think of something that we've been learning, is to not kind of make an excuse, I think, for us not spending time together, or not trying to figure out where we're at. especially like we said, when life be life. So I think that's something that I've enjoyed learning how to do with you lately, is being able to create those spaces. And again, I think growing up I've always thought dates had to be fancy and all these things and wine and dine, but literally those are moments and times that you enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? Going to get ice cream and you just being like, okay, what's going on? Because we're not, we're like in that moment where everything has stopped. Like there's nothing to distract us. So it's like we are able to figure out, okay, what is it that we're going through? What is it that you're feeling? What is it that you need from me? What is it that um you know that I can do to help, and things like that.
Yeah. And I think like just like me and as an individual, I learned that I am not properly on a daily basis um giving my stress and my anxiety to the Father. And I think the reason why I distance myself from people is because I'm not supposed to be running to you. I'm supposed to be running to him.
Yep.
And because I'm trying to figure out how to run to him most of the time,
Mhm.
when it's just like I've allowed this to pal and I've allowed this to like um just get out of hand.
Mhm.
And then when like due dates and all this other type stuff begin to pile up on one another,
Mhm.
um then I'm like, I don't even like prayer, yes, but what do I say? And then like it's like you know what to do, but you
Mhm.
don't do it because it's just like, you know,
Yeah.
how are you, God, how are you gonna get me out of it?
Yeah.
And so then I'm like, eh, I'm even if I do go to the people surrounding me,
Mhm.
I'm not going to listen to them
Yep.
because it's like, okay, yeah, that worked for you, but
Yeah.
I don't foresee that happening for me.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the beautiful things that I've also been learning too, is like seeing you grow through those times. And when I say go through them, like you're growing through them. Like I don't like and I don't want like people to think like, well, let me rephrase that. I think sometimes like when we're going through life and life be life, and we think that sometimes like we're going through something. Oh, I'm going through this. I'm going through that. Whatever thing may be feeling like is turmoil or torment, or life. It feels like it's like crumbling before your hands. It's like those things we're growing through those things. Like if you're really connected to God and the Holy Spirit, and really like having that relationship where you're like giving God your issues and your problems, you'll 9 out of 10 times realize that God is trying to grow you through those situations.
Yeah.
And even like how you said like you're learning to go to the Father with those things. There's times where you've called me in the morning on the way to work and you're like, babe, I don't know what to do, I'm so stressed. And sometimes my nature is want to be like, oh, it's okay, and pat you on the back. But there have been times that I'm learning, and this is why it is so important to, again, disclaimer, not married, but in a sense we're kind of equally yoked, in essence that we both have a relationship with God. Why it's so important to make sure that your significant other, the person that you're dating, can hear the voice of God for you. Because there's times I'm like, babe, like you don't even realize what God is trying to do. He's trying to grow you through the situation. And there's times where I've told you that you have to get into your word, you have to go into worship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's times where you just wanted me to console you. And I have done that in those times. But I've also pointed you back to God and said, you have to know what He's doing through you this season and how He's trying to grow you.
Yeah. Yes, life, life, life.
And I'll just say this too. Like I think there's times and seasons where God is trying to, and it's ironic that your your parents are in a series um about talking about keys. And I think sometimes like in those situations when we're trying to grow through those things, like that can be a tool that God is trying to unlock in you, a deeper level of worship, a deeper level of intimacy, prayer, things like that.
Yeah, it's really good. You should go back and watch it. Um, yeah, I just think that um, just in general, like just having that emotional balance. This is how you are becoming. one with yourself.
Hmm.
You need to know your triggers. You need to
Yep.
know, like, this, and it's not for you to say, well, that triggered me, so this is just how I am.
Yeah.
That's not for you to say, oh,
Yeah.
this triggers me, and if a person does this, then this is how I'm going to react.
Yeah.
With every reaction that you make comes a consequence.
Yeah.
Just like the Bible said, it's okay for us to get angry, but it's with what we get angry with,
Yeah.
what we do with that anger, it
Hmm.
becomes sin.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this right here, this right here ticks me off.
Yeah.
But what are some coping mechanisms can I do to not allow that to happen?
Yeah.
And that's self-awareness. Like,
Hmm.
you have to be self-aware of yourself. Like, if I know that, say for instance, Joseph done something that really got on my nerves, I'm not gonna be all in his face, and he keeps doing the very thing that gets on my nerves. I'm just gonna step away, because y'all, I'm working on myself, because I could be easily irritated sometimes. So I step away, and then I go gather myself, and I go like, well, why did that just make you up? Like, why did that just really like irritate you so
Yeah.
bad? And then I'm like, and I go back to him, and I'm like, I'm sorry, that really blah 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 blah. And the more that you do that, the more it creates a good habit.
Yeah. And I definitely realized you've been doing that lately. Like you'll see, like you'll do something and you'll see my face or my body language switch up, and immediately like you'll catch yourself like, oh babe, like I'm sorry, I didn't mean to come off like that. And sometimes I could be a little, whatever. What I'm saying? Shrug my shoulders a little bit.
Hurt his feelings.
Right? Sometimes I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I'd be petty, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? But
It's not good to be petty. It
it's
creates
not. It
problems.
does. But I don't do it all the time. But I do appreciate it because I do see how, she definitely has grown. So I want to say that. You definitely have grown. Like, and I do appreciate the effort that you have put into that. For real.
Yeah. I think that it is important for, even when you are in relationship or when you are in marriage, um that you do figure out what's going on with yourself daily, even if you don't feel like nothing is wrong with you.
Yeah.
When things are, excuse me, are just out of out of out of the norm for you,
Mhm.
or you can't control it, because y'all, I am the biggest control freak ever. So, when you cannot control anything, and especially, like, I want to just say for men, because in a marriage, like, they're the head of the house,
Mhm.
and like, um society says that, the man is supposed to figure everything out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important, but it's also a partnership. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's important for the man to know where the family is going, to
Mhm.
have vision, but also the woman is there to help push that vision for the family. And so it's very important for both sets to figure out with one another. And y'all, I promise y'all, we're gonna get a married couple on here, because I'm not married, but I do. Relationship is relationship.
Yeah.
So if you have the foundations of a relationship, how can you improve that relationship when you're in your marriage?
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that you're not gonna go through things, because you go through things in your single self, you go through things in a relationship as just a couple courting, and then you also go through a lot of things when you're married.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like, I would just say, like, stealing away and checking in on yourself. Where am I currently right now in my life? And look at your goals
Mhm.
and say, well, why do I feel this way about myself? Because I'm not seeing the manifestation of this goal.
Yeah.
Or if the Lord told me something, and I'm working and I'm working and I'm putting in work, but I don't see the fruit yet. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So that way, because I just feel like in any relationship, if the man is off, then the whole family, if they have a family, the whole family shifts. If you're in a relationship, or either or is off, the whole relationship can shift.
Yeah.
So it's just like, even with the wife, so it's just like a balance thing there. But because the man is the head, it's gonna shift the whole family,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
anyway, the whole thing was, oneness with yourself creates a healthy relationship.
It definitely does. It definitely does. Yeah. And I think we've been learning that this season is like that self awareness and that emotional awareness, because I said something to you the other day when we went on our car date and you looked at me like what? How dare you even say that type of thing to me? And and I had to check myself, because at that moment we were being vulnerable and honest, like with what we were feeling, and I had to check myself before I even like said what I felt, you know what I'm saying? And I had to remind you that, listen, the reason why I feel like this is because of one of my love languages, you know what I'm saying? And it's nothing against you. And I think sometimes when you don't have that self awareness, you can come off as very, very selfish and needy and all these things when you to your partner and your significant other, when you don't have a level of self awareness. If you don't know um your needs as far as like uh how you, I guess, communicate through your emotions, because I know one of the things is like our one of our things is quality time and words of affirmation. And if you and your partner are going through a season where God is trying to either grow you, stretch you, or take you to a new level, or just life in general, school, work, whatever the case may be, if you don't have a level of self-awareness or oneness with yourself, meaning that you don't need your partner's validation and affection 24/7, where you can function healthily without them, you're not gonna it's not gonna be a healthy balance where you can, I guess, communicate, if that makes sense, or know that this person still loves me, still person still wants to be with me. You know what I'm saying? And you said something earlier too, like about the aspect of like when you have that self-awareness of yourself and your that oneness, you won't have these rushing questions in your head. Oh, does this person still love me? Do they want to be with me? Are they getting tired of me? Are they looking somewhere else?
But that's honestly, that's where, when you are having like those safe space conversations,
Yeah.
that's when you ask, like, are we good? Like, where are we at?
Yeah.
Like, that's not. And I think the world has created this whole thing to where, if someone asks you that in a relationship, y'all are automatically breaking up.
Yeah.
No, it's like, we need to make sure that we're okay, like we're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Like, is there something I'm not doing? Is there something that you're not doing? Is it something that we are not doing?
Yeah.
Because it takes two people to have a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
And yes, you are supposed to love someone based off of their love language.
Yeah.
You cannot love someone based off of how you want to be loved. Hi, y'all.
And we are back.
We are back, y'all. We had some technical difficulties.
My bad.
Thank you for waiting.
I thought she was about to throw me under the
I
bus.
was not. I said thank you for waiting. We had some technical difficulties.
Yes, we are back. I don't even know where we left off. I think we were talking about emotional, uh, understanding your emotions. Oh, no, no. When we went to Dairy Queen and I told you something that you did not like, and we're talking about the aspect of knowing how to have those healthy conversations with your significant other, those safe space conversations. Um, because one thing I had to learn, right, and I'm still learning, is not to take everything personal. Yeah, there are times where I take things very, very personal, right? Even sometimes little things she does, right, that she could say something to me the wrong way, or like, you know, take a jab at me, not try to be malicious or mean, but sometimes I take things very personal, right? Can you would probably agree, wouldn't you? Yeah, you would.
Anything.
Yeah, so I could take things very personal sometimes. But one thing I'm learning is when we have those safe space conversations to listen to what she is saying. I think the other day, I didn't share this with you, but when we had that conversation in Dairy Queen, like emotionally inside eternally, like I was really trying to fight off the feelings of like not taking what you like your feelings of you being upset at what I said personally. And really understanding this is just how she feels, Joseph. She doesn't hate you. She's not mad at you. She don't want to break up with you. Like she's just expressing how she feels. And I think that's something I had to learn and that I think our relationship has taught me is learning how not to take your feelings and emotions personal and understanding it's how you feel, it's what you're processing, and at the end of the day, you still love me and you still want to, build a relationship with me.
Yeah. Um, yes, I do.
Yeah,
I think that not taking things personally, like I said before, it is okay to be upfront
hmm
with your partner about how you deal with your emotions and when you're stressed, because it's important for them to know that, because when that moment comes up, they will not be thrown off as much, and they'll understand how to care for you in that situation
definitely.
and like what's needed um, for you to do. Because like sometimes, like I don't like to talk about things very upfront,
Yeah,
and that's okay because I know that I need to process things
yeah.
before I just be talking about stuff.
And let me tell y'all, that is something very hard for me to accept still sometimes. Because there are times that I'm like, babe, what's wrong? Talk to me. Like, you just tell me what's going on. Like, hello. Like, I'm trying to figure out what it is. And one thing I learned through that is that is it's something that and again, I'm going to say this is
Yeah.
that sometimes there is a level or an aspect of vulnerability that you do have to have with your significant other,
Yeah.
but at the same time you have to be able, like Paris said, that self-awareness. And one of the self-awareness things that I was aware of was that a lot of times when she is going through or like she's feeling some type of way, like I try to fix it. And that's something that I had to learn and understand that it's something that I need healing from and help, because it is something that is stems from, childhood traumas and things like that. And you don't want to bring all that stuff into a relationship and dump it on your partner or your significant other, the person that you're dating, and not deal with it, and then eventually move into the place of marriage, and then it become bigger than what it is. So like even like with me and Paris, like when she's having those moments where she doesn't want to speak, I have to constantly remind myself and reassure myself that Joseph is not anything that you did. It's not anything that you have said. Like you don't have to try to fix it immediately, but let her process it. Let her give her a long time, and eventually she's going to open up and share with you what it is that she needs from you. You
Yeah, and sometimes I just don't have nothing to say.
know.
Like people be trying to figure out what's wrong with you, nothing.
Yeah.
And they keep asking me, I'm like, there's nothing wrong. I just don't have anything to say. I'm I don't I'm not a conversationalist. I don't sit and just have conversations
Yeah.
just to have conversations. Makes me feel weird sometimes. But yeah, it's very important for when life does happen,
Mhm.
that you make sure that you are self-aware, that you are, always like running to God first with your problems. Like it's okay to let your partner know, like, oh, it was a very bad day, or like today was just my day. And then you go still away and try to figure that out. And then
Yeah.
after you like, processed it and you talk through it with God and he gives you tools or whatever, then you can go talk to it
Yeah. And
to somebody else.
yeah.
That is a Christian,
I,
because if you don't, then yeah, you be all
yeah.
messed
And
up.
it's a crazy thing too. Like fellas, like especially those who want to build a godly relationship with their significant other, this is something I want you to listen to. Something I'm learning, right? Again, I'm not an expert. I'm just giving you guys what I've learned, was helping me, some tools and strategies, right? There have been times where Paris has literally is going through something, right? And you tell me I don't want to talk about it, like I'm good, not right now. I'm trying to process it, right? Again, in my nature, right? I'm trying to figure it out. Oh my gosh, she's mad at me. Oh my gosh, what can I do? Oh my gosh, like going trying to make myself go crazy, right? There are literally times when I've stood still, spent my time with God. God will reveal to me what it is she's going through and why she's going through it and what she's feeling. And there have been times where I have told you, have I not told you? I said, God has already told me and shown me what's wrong with you, what you're going through, but I'm gonna wait until you tell me. And it's like, fellas, like that is so important, especially if you're trying to build a godly relationship and you're trying to be there for your significant other, and especially if someone that you're trying to make your wife, is going to be super important for you to have a sensitivity to the Holy Spirit and that relationship with God, so you can know how to pray for her, so you can know how to encourage her, and so it does not turn into a fight. Well, what's wrong with you? Well, why are you not talking to me? Well, you just want to be by yourself and you don't want to spend time with me. No, what is she going through? You have to have a sensitivity to God's daughter.
Yeah, and I think there's even like a way that you could say that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like say it's been like a day and you've given her like a day and she hasn't told you like, or he hasn't told you like, I just need a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I need a day.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's still or she's still doing the same thing. You can be like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that we have not, conversated
Mm-hmm.
or we haven't been our normal selves.
Yeah.
In like a few days. Like, are you good? What's going on? That would be better than what's wrong with you or why haven't you? And then you should be checking yourself because there may be some type of insecurity there, because it's like you don't talk to your best friend every day. And that's supposed to be somebody that you run to with whatever, but you don't talk to her or you don't talk to him every day, but at the end of the day they would have your back. That is supposed to be your partner. Not saying that y'all are supposed to communicate every day, but that was just an example of you're not gonna talk or something's gonna be off. And even with that friendship, you be like, oh, I noticed we haven't talked in a certain amount of days, like what's up with you, like how can we schedule or meet up to talk, or can we go to lunch? Like my best friend, she lives like 5 hours away from me, and we don't talk on a normal basis, but we also understand that we have our own lives, and we also understand like we're only a phone call away, and a text away. Yeah, and I'm supposed to be talking to her tomorrow. So.
Shout out to Jordan.
Love you, Jordan.
But I think it's so key, and I think that's one thing I love about God and truly building a relationship like with God and not outside of God, without God, because I've done that before, and it didn't work out, obviously, because I'm with you.
The best choice.
Anyways, best choice. But it's so great because like now I do have more of a sensitivity for you and to you, because literally, like, you know how we say we want to be more like Christ. Christ is patient. Christ is kind. Christ is understanding. You know what I'm saying? And I think building that relationship with God so you can be that for your significant other is so amazing, because like there has been times like in past relationships, like I said, I've taken things very, very personal, and without that sensitivity to God and the Holy Spirit and understanding that, hey, this is what my girlfriend needs at the time. If you are married, even for the married couples, you guys, I know you guys can definitely relate. This is what my wife may need at that time. Like without that sensitivity to the Holy Spirit, everything can potentially become an argument. Everything can potentially become a fallout. Like the littlest thing, the slightest thing can turn into something that's not needed. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when other issues start spilling out. That's when you be like, well, the you left a a fork in the sink the other day. I can't stand the way that you don't fold the clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like when you don't have those lines of communication and healthy communication and constantly and letting your significant other know in moments like, hey, this bothers me and this and that, like everything's gonna begin to spill out. You know what I'm saying? Like how they call it dirty laundry. Like all the dirty laundry's gonna start to come out. So it's very important to have that sensitivity to your partner, and it's not through yourself. Again, we are only flesh and bones, mere flesh and bones. Like we cannot do it in our own strength at all. We can't do life in our own strength. We can't do nothing. Can't do it. We need God to be the center of everything that we do. How to love someone properly. God first loved us. He knew us in the womb. So we need to go back to the source to know how to love our partner.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. That's very true. Yes.
Nothing. So
That
yeah.
is, it is very true because it's just like you see that effect because you become overwhelmed with your emotions. You already see that effect with yourself, and because you don't know how to properly become one with yourself, because you don't know the tools that you need, um then it spills over into every area of your life. So your
Yep.
work life, you're talking to people like you don't know how to talk to people.
Yep.
You're mishandling people's feelings. You're mishandling your work ethic. Like everything is off.
Yep.
Because you won't take the time out. It's like, you hear complainers.
Yeah.
And if you sit around and you complain all day and you do nothing about it, then that means you like where you are.
Yep.
And it's like, versus taking the situation and saying, okay, I don't like the way this is being ran. What are some ways that I could come up with to make this part of my day or this part of my life work smoothly?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think even with that, like complainers too, like I think one is also like you said, they like where they're at, but also too when it comes to like that, when it comes to the aspect of complaining or complacency, I think the biggest root of that is a deep root of fear and insecurities of feeling like I'm never going to be able to get out of this. I don't know how to get out of this. If I try to get out of this the way I think I can get out of this, it's going to fail, crumble in front of my face. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, life be life.
Life be life and listen. Uh yeah.
Yeah.
What's next? What's next? What's next? Because like I said, we came on here. We just did this impromptu because people been hitting us up like, where you at? We want to show our faces. We good. We living. We thriving. We still together. Those we still together.
Life just be life.
Yeah.
And that's what we wanted to talk about. Like, I'm still in school. I just ended one class, so like that's what that was all about. Yeah. So like
I started a new job, new career. I just embraced, huh?
I said all of this at one time.
Yeah, I embraced where God has me and what He wants to do with me. I stopped trying to run from it and just accept my call to education. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but we're learning, we're growing. Like you said, life be life, and uh, we can't wait for the next episode.
We cannot, because we're gonna learn how to become one with God.
And what that looks like.
It's very important.
It is, and I think that's going to be. We don't have the topic yet, but that's going to be the subtopic, like the basis of it, the foundation.
Yeah, because we need to talk about what do we mean by one. Yes. Because y'all just been getting to know us.
Yeah, uno, one. Yeah. And I think with that it's so important, like you said, like learning and understanding your emotional awareness and intelligence. I think there's a book by, I believe I could be getting his name wrong. I think his name is Darius Daniels, Pastor Darius Daniels. If y'all know who that is, you know who that is?
Yes.
Okay, he has a book out called Emotional Intelligence, right? And maybe that's something we should read together.
Maybe.
I think it'd be a good idea.
We'll talk about
We will. But he has a book called Emotional Intelligence. He did a whole series on emotional intelligence, and it's basically like that emotional intelligence is not just for your relationship with your significant other, but the relationship you have with your job, your kids, your finances, your spouse. All these things require emotional intelligence, and
Yeah, because like everybody know that your life just be in chaos sometimes,
yeah,
and therefore your emotions are in is all over the place, like your
yeah,
roller coaster.
yeah,
And it's important for us to know how to um operate in those
yeah.
emotions
Yeah, and like I said, like this season was a
or
season.
function.
Yeah, this season was a very testing and trying season for me. And in the beginning of the summer, I almost had a breakdown. I almost wanted to just throw my hands in the air and say, "God, you got it." But I had to learn and embrace that emotional intelligence and awareness that God is not making me go through something, but making me grow through something. And so when I took a step back, when I had that emotional intelligence, when I said, "Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take my hands off the wheel. I'm gonna stop trying to figure it out." I just embrace the growth process and say, "Oh, okay, God, I see what you're trying to do now. You're trying to grow me, not make me go through it. You're gonna grow me through it, not go through it."
Yeah, it's important. It's important that we do that.
It is. It is. Well, listen, y'all. I think our time is about up.
It is.
Mhm.
Thank you for sitting tight with us. We
Yes.
had our
Uh,
technical difficulty.
Yes, we thank you all for tuning in with us. Again, my name is Joseph.
My name is Paris, and we would like to thank Faith TV for
Faith in
always.
action.
Oh, but it comes on Faith TV. But
It
thank you for
does.
the correction. Yes, we want to thank Faith in Action for broadcasting this for us.
Yes.
And also go follow them.
Yes, go ahead.
Go follow them.
Yes, I believe their email. If not, can we get the email on the screen?
Yeah.
Can we get the email on the screen? Those who want to are interested in having their own slot on television network, meaning that you don't have to worry about YouTube. You don't have to worry about trying to figure it out yourself, right? You can go ahead and have your own TV slot. And the cool thing about them is they do video editing, broadcasting. So if you need an intro, outro, if you have no idea what you want to do, but you have a vision and you have some type of imagination, creativity, they will help you bring it to life, right? They have channels that go across the world, across the globe. Great way to evangelize, right? If you're a comedian, if you have a sports talk show, a podcast like we do, they got it all. Slots for everything. Kids channels. Okay. If you are someone who has a gift that you want to share with the world, let them know. Okay. Again, Faith in Action TV. TV slots all across the world. That is their email at the bottom. Faith in Action, not in action, 0308 at gmail.com. All right. Yes. So go ahead and let them know that you are interested. And we again thank them for this wonderful setup and helping us through the technical difficulties.
Yes.
Yes.
Helping us.
Also, we want to give a shout out to Sunday Geeks, one of our sponsors. I heard from a little birdie, they got some stuff on the way. Yes, they got some stuff on the way. I know, we've been talking about them and shouting them out. So go check them out. SundayGeeks.com for all your faith-based apparel. Not just, scriptures plastered on a shirt, which is nothing wrong, but they take it to another level, another notch, and help evangelize and spread the word through conversation pieces. A lot of the pieces are very interesting. Start conversations, especially some stuff that I've worn. I've had people ask me, "What is that? What is Sunday Geek?" So it was an opportunity, to evangelize, share my faith, and share Sunday Geeks.
Yeah.
So yeah. If you haven't already, you can follow us on Instagram _, the one podcast for reels, just a little behind the scenes of me and Paris's life a little bit.
Right.
Yes, also on Facebook at the one podcast.
Yes, and don't forget about YouTube.
Yes, the YouTube, the one podcast. Okay, like, subscribe. Every week, every Tuesday at 7 p.m., we go live with a brand new episode. Okay, so can the folks expect a new episode from us this Tuesday or next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday.
Next
we
Tuesday.
Will probably rebroadcast.
Yes, next Tuesday. We'll probably rebroadcast this. Good idea. High five for that. We'll rebroadcast this next Tuesday at 7 p.m. if you want to join us and rewatch this if you missed the first part. Without the technical difficulty, we'll edit that part out. But yeah, you can follow us, share this with someone that you know. Again, we're not experts, but we believe that we've got some little bit of wisdom. We got some nuggets that we can share. So yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. We're going to get ready to enjoy the rest of our day. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And again, we're the One Podcast.
The One Podcast.
See you guys later.
Bye, guys.